It's time to wake up. No, really. Even if you already think you're awake, are you? These days it seems to be a real trend. Everyone says that they've woken up. This was my awakening, or I remember when I woke up. And then they walk around as if everyone else that they meet is fast asleep and doesn't understand anything compared to them. But here's the thing, we don't just wake up once and then stay awake forever. That's not how it works. We fall back asleep constantly. We wake up, we fall asleep. We wake up, we fall asleep. We forget. We lose conscious connection. And then we need to wake up again. The problem is that the moment we start searching for what it means to be awake, what it means to have something greater than this world that we consciously live in, there's no shortage of people waiting to tell us what we're supposed to do. It starts with our parents. They pass on their view of the world, often with good intentions, but it's still just their version of reality. And then school shapes us into becoming workers rather than free thinkers. Then there's media, TV, film, society. Everyone is telling us how we're meant to live our lives. Everyone seems to think that they know the secrets to how we're supposed to live. Oh, and then there's the gurus, our wannabe saviors, the YouTubers, the influencers who are all shouting that we need to wake up, but secretly the whole time keeping us asleep. Why? Well, because they hook us with fear, conspiracies, dark forces, aliens ruling the planet. And whether any of that is true or not, it almost doesn't matter, because what they're doing is keeping us disconnected from our own internal connection to power, to our own power. They're pushing us outside ourselves. They're saying, look at that problem over there. You need someone to protect you. You need a savior. And more often than not, that savior looks very much like them. And I get it. I've been there. I've bought into so many people in the past who I thought had the answers. And don't get me wrong, I often learned lots from them. But most of the time, I would just end up feeling more disconnected from myself, more fearful, more divided, seeing them and us everywhere, right and wrong, me versus you. And that right there is the real definition of being asleep. When you're trapped in that mindset, and it doesn't matter how many spiritual books you've read, how long you meditate, how many self-help courses you've been on, you're still asleep. And the narcissism of people walking around thinking that they're one of the few people to know the truth, to be fully awake, whilst looking down on everyone else, it's hardly enlightened. The truth is that anyone who makes you more fearful, more separate, more dependent on them is not waking you up. They're keeping you unconscious. Anyone who keeps you focused on the differences between us rather than the similarities is trying to keep you asleep. But here's the thing. Real awakening doesn't happen to you by a guru, by someone else. It doesn't come from aliens or hidden elites or even me sitting here telling you to wake up. It comes by you turning inwards, facing your own fear, taking responsibility for what's inside. And that's not an abstract thing. You can do it directly in the breath that you're taking right now, or those internal shadows that you'd rather avoid. Awakening in those moments is where you stop running and look honestly at yourself, because there is no peace until you wake up inside. And that doesn't mean that you'll know every hidden secret of the universe. You won't. None of us will. But you'll know yourself, and you can see clearly what's happening within you in this moment. That's the work. That's waking up. So if you've ever felt pulled in by any of those so-called gurus, notice what it is that they're really selling you. Ask yourself, does this make me feel more fearful, more divided, more asleep? Or does this bring me back to myself? And if you want to start with something practical, start with the breath. It's the simplest way to catch yourself when you're falling asleep. And don't be afraid to look into your shadows either. Those parts of you that you usually push away. Because the more we face things like that, the more awake we become. Thank you for watching.